Hello friends, a very good afternoon. Today we will discuss about the geopolitics of oil and gas in West Asia. Geopolitics is a concept in the study of international relations that refers to the impact of geography on formulating the politics of the world. Originally the concept evolved in the end of 19th century and early 20th century to define the roles of seas and lands in creating global powers, politics, and economy. The lecture is mainly hovering around three important aspects of geopolitics of oil in West Asia. First, it is important to know who has most of the oil. Second, who consume most of the oil. And the third and most important aspect of geopolitics in West Asia is world's important choke points. So the first is who has most of the oil. When we talk about who has most of the oil, we discuss about the regions of the world, different regions of the world, and their share in the oil reserves. According to the Statistical Review of World Energy, around 66% reserves of the world are found alone in West Asian region. 9% reserves are found in Central and South America. 7% are found in Africa, Northern Africa mainly, and 5% are found in North America, 5% are found in Eastern Europe and former USSR, and 4% are found in Asia and Oceania, and 2% are found in Western Europe. So, this is the distribution of oil reserves. In this way, it is clear that around 66% oil is found alone in West Asia itself. Second is who consumes the most oil. Again, when we calculate it, when we know it, who consume most of the oil, United States consumes around 26% oil of the world, and most of the developed countries and developing countries like India, China, etc. Uh, in which Japan, China, Germany, Russia, Brazil, South Korea, Canada, France, India, Mexico, Italy, United Kingdom, Spain, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Indonesia, Australia, Netherlands, and Taiwan. These countries consume around 40% oil of the world, and rest of the world consume 23% oil of the world. So 40% oil consume our mentioned countries. Those are mentioned earlier. These countries consume 40% oil of the world. United States consume 26% oil of the world, and rest of the world consume 23% oil. So, if West Asia has 66% oil, and on the other side, the United States consume 26% oil. This is the main reason of geopolitics of oil and gas in West Asian region. West Asia produces about one third of the world's oil and a tenth of its natural gas. Much of that is exported. That makes the entire world economy pretty reliant on the continued flow of the gas and oil, which just happens to go through a region that has seen an awful lot of conflict in last few decades. So, as we have already discussed about who has most of the oil and who consume most of the oil, now we come on our third aspect, that is world's important choke points. The free flow of oil is critical to world commerce and global economic prosperity. Oil trade requires the use of maritime trade route which can span from hundreds of thousands of miles. Hence, oil tankers from one often travel through straits and canals to reduce transport cost. These passageways, referred to as choke points, are narrow channels along the most widely used global sea routes. So, there are some important choke points of the world through which most of the oil trade takes place, and these choke points are known as oil transit choke points. And from these choke points, in all important choke points, Strait of Hormuz from Strait of Hormuz in 2017. This is the data of 2017. In 2017, around 20.3 millions of barrels of oil moved per day from Strait of Hormuz, and from Strait of Malacca, around 16.5 million of barrels of oil moved per day. Danish Strait, 3.2 million barrels of oil moved per day. Bab el Mandi, 4.8 millions of barrels of oil moved per day. Bosphorus, 2.9 million of, oil moved per day. Suez Canal, 2.4 million, and Panama Canal, zero point 0.8 million. So, out of these important seven states, 4 states fall in West Asia itself. That's why West Asia is very important from the point of view of geopolitics of oil. When we are talking about the geopolitics of oil, most of the oil, the states of West Asia, like Strait of Hormuz, Strait of Bab el Mandab, Bosphorus, and Suez Canal. These are important choke points from which most of the oil of the world transit. Okay. Then oil trade and militarism in the Strait of Hormuz. First is Strait of Hormuz, about which we'll talk here. The global economy depends on this narrow waterway between Iran and the Arabian Peninsula. Ever since President Jimmy Carter issued the 1980 Carter Doctrine, which declared that the US would use military force to defend its access to Persian Gulf oil, the little Strait of Hormuz, as the Gulf exists, has been some of the most heavily militarized water on the earth. The US installed a large naval force, first to protect oil exports from the brutal Iran-Iraq war of the 1980s, then to protect from Saddam Hussein's in 1990s Gulf Wars, and now to protect them again from Iran, which has gestured shutting down all trade in case of war against Israel or the US. As long as the world runs on fossil fuels and there is tension in the West Asia, there will be military forces in the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is a logical flashpoint for this geoeconomic gamesmanship due to its location and strategic value for so much of the world. The 20.3 million barrels of oil per day shipped through the Strait of Hormuz during 2070s, as I have already told when I was discussing about the distribution. Uh, the total out of the total oil which passes from a Strait of Hormuz, 1.4 million barrels per day specifically transited through the strait on their way to the US in 2018, in addition to more than a quarter of all global trade in liquefied natural gas and in liquefied natural gas. So this was about the Strait of Hormuz. Now we will discuss about Bab al Mandab Strait. Bab al Mandab Strait between Arabia and Africa that connects the Red Sea with the Gulf of Aden and the Indian Ocean. The strait is 20 miles, means 32 kilometers wide, and is divided into two channels because there is one island is lying between the strait of between Bab al Mandab. One island is lying in Bab al Mandab. That name of that island is Perim Island. The western channel is 26 kilometers across, and the eastern is 3 kilometers wide only. With the building of the Suez Canal, the strait assumed great strategic and economic importance, forming a portion of the link between the Mediterranean Sea and East Asia. The flow through this strait provides for the circulation between the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. The Suez, then after Strait of Hormuz and Bab al Mandab, now we will discuss about why Egypt's Suez Canal is so important for the world economy. The Suez Canal changed everything when Egypt opened it in 1868. After 10 years of work, the 100-mile man-made waterway brought Europe and Asia dramatically and permanently closer. The canal's significance to the global order was too obvious that shortly after the British conquered Egypt in the 1880s, the major world powers signed a treaty, which is still in force, declaring that the canal would forever be open to trade and warships of every nation, no matter what. With the building of Suez Canal, the strait assumed great strategic economic importance, forming a portion of the link between the Mediterranean Sea and East Asia. The flow through this strait provides for the circulation between the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. Today, about 80% of all globally trade and 3% of the global energy supply goes through the canal. Then, when we discuss about the Suez Canal, we cannot ignore the Suez Crisis. In November 1956, British and French troops occupied the Suez Canal zone, which had been previously nationalized by President Nasser. After several weeks, however, they had to withdraw under pressure of the US and Soviet Union. From today's perspective, the Suez Crisis marks a deep historical cut, which sealed the end of European colonial dominance and the uh, rise of the Cold War superpowers. The crisis displayed the many layered geopolitical significance of the canal as a lifeline of the world trade, as a focal point of the geostrategic interest and conflicts, as a reason for drawing Egypt into global conflicts, and finally as a source of revenue for the Egyptian state. Now we will discuss about Bosphorus Strait. The Bosphorus Strait connects the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara. It also separates Asian Turkey from European Turkey. Thus, it separates the two continents. Bordered on both sides by the massive city of Istanbul, the state is one of the planet's most strategic waterways. The body of water serves as a primary highway for the transport of energy to Europe from Asia and Western Asia. In 2005, over 55,000 ships, including almost 6,000 oil tankers, passed through it, most carrying Russian oil. Crossed by two large suspension bridges, the strait is just over 2 miles across at its widest point, about 32 kilometers in length, and a measured 30 to 120 meter deep, but has a lot of impact on the from the geopolitical point of view of oil trade to Europe. It is the world's narrowest strait used for international navigation. The Bosphorus connects the Black Sea with the Sea of Marmara. So, after discussing about the whole choke points, now we have to go through what are the threats to the world's choke points. Numerous and diverse threats these choke points most of the time face. The Strait of Hormuz is under a direct threat of closure by Iran due to the volume of oil that passes through them. The Strait of Hormuz and the Strait of Malacca are by far the most crucial choke points to the world oil trade. They are therefore subject to risk from instability. Somali pirates and war conflicts are a growing concern for traffic through the Bab el Mandab Strait and the Suez Canal. Environmental catastrophes could grow in scale and frequency in the Turkish Strait as tanker traffic increases. All oil choke points are in close proximity to countries that economists regard as developing rather than developed. The tension between Iran and Iraq and Saudi Arabia is something that the United States, as a huge energy importer, has been deeply interested in for years. It sided against the Iran during the Iran-Iraq War of 1980s, against Iraq when it invaded Kuwait, and threatened Saudi Arabia in 1990s again against Iraq with the 2003 invasion, and now is supporting Saudi Arabia in its rapidly worsening proxy war against Iran. So this this small talk was about the geopolitical significance of West Asian region, and West Asia is geopolitically significant because every political and economic affairs of the world are directly influenced by the geography of the region. Okay, I hope you understand it well. You can send me comments. You can ask questions anytime. You can mail me. You can WhatsApp me regarding geopolitical significance of West Asia. Thank you very much.